About 2 years ago, Sega released a game in the arcades that really kind of turned things around. You know, it came out of nowhere and was an innovative, fun game. That game was Crazy Taxi. You drove a taxi, you picked up people, you drove them places, all timer-based stuff. Revolutionary at the time, and definitely a lot of fun. Shortly after the game came to Dreamcast. It was a great port. They added a new level, which wasn't as good as the Arcade City, but it was still nice to have some variety. And in general, it was a must-have Dreamcast game. Then Acclaim picked up the rights to deliver Sega's games to other platforms. This is before Sega had abandoned the Dreamcast. It finally came to pass, and Acclaim released Crazy Taxi for the PS2. The Dreamcast version was better. The PlayStation 2 version bogged down in places where it didn't need to bog down, and generally had the feel of a really sloppy port. Now, just in time for the GameCube launch, Acclaim has delivered Crazy Taxi to the GameCube. The game's 2 years old at this point, and it looks a lot like the Dreamcast game. So when you're comparing it to other GameCube games, it looks pretty awful. And on top of that, it still has pop-up, it still has really muddy textures the way that the Dreamcast version did, because you could get away with that 2 years ago. And it's basically a really sloppy port of the game. If you've never played Crazy Taxi before, it might be worth checking out. You might want to rent it. You might just want to go buy a Dreamcast and get a copy of Crazy Taxi, which is cheaper than getting just a GameCube at this point. It's hard to get excited about the game, because it's really old and not very exciting. That's all I have to say about that.